Hi everyone, so we are on to our guided section for Friday's lesson about the line method multiplying by 10, 100 and 1000. Now this screen here is just to go over what you should have just done in the anchor test. So I'm just going to briefly show you because we've literally just done this. So the line is next to the 0, we're timesing by 10, we're moving one place to the right. So the 0 moves along, the 3 moves along, and that is your lot. You don't need to put a 0 here because there's nothing else going on after that. And on this one, we move the 0 over first, the 1 over, and then the 5, and we end up with 1.5. If you were writing that out, you don't need to put that 0, and you don't need to put that 0, but you do need to move them across to make sure you've got everything in the right place. Okay, we'll whiz on to the next thing. I mean, obviously you're not doing this in your maths books. This is just from the people that are in school at the moment. So we've got three numbers to have a go at. We're going to times the same number by 10 and 100 and 1000. So much like before, have a go yourself, pause the video, and then come back onto the video and I'll show you how to do it, which is what I'm going to do right now. So on this one, we've already very kindly put the lines on for you. So we're timesing by 10, we're moving one place over to the left. And I'm going to do it underneath so you can see what's happening. Decimal point is already in all the way down. So the 5 jumps over one place into the tens column. Always take the digit that is next to the 9 first. And the 2 moves over into the ones column. So 5.2 times by 10 is 52. Hopefully that was fairly straightforward. We've got 5.2 now times by 100, so we're moving 2 places to the left. Every digit gets 100 times bigger. So our 5 comes underneath the line here, so it's gone from the ones column, 1, 2, into the hundreds column just here. And the 2 follows it along. You can count them if you would like, if that makes your life easier. 1, 2, or we can just put it in next to the 5. It's got to be next to the 5 because it was next to the 5 before. Now here, I spoke about this in our other video, we're in the ones column. We cannot leave this ones column empty. If I leave the ones column empty, essentially I'm just writing 52, but the answer is not 52. We've got 500s, sorry, 2 tens and 0 ones. You have got to get that 0 into there, year 6, okay? And the last one, same number again, 5.2. This time we're multiplying by 1000, so we're moving on 3 places over to the left this time. So the 5 goes from the ones column, 1, 2, 3 jumps into the thousands column. So if you think about that logically, 5 times by 1000 is 5000. That should hopefully make sense to you. And the 2 we can count 3, 1, 2, 3, or we can, as before, just follow it along. So the 5 and the, I don't know, sorry, I literally don't know why I've put 3. I think it's because I've counted 3. Right, let me fix that a moment, apologies. Oh dear. Alright, we'll try that again. So a 5 and a 2, and then, a bit like on this one, I've now got nothing in the tens and ones column. If I don't fill these in, I've written 52, or 5.2 times 1000 is definitely not 52. So I must put in that 0 as a placeholder. So there's 0 tens and 0 ones. Once you pass the decimal point, you don't need to fill zeros in over here. They would go on forever, much like we're not putting zeros in for here. But you've got to fill up these columns. The tens and the ones needs to have something in. Okay, on to the next bit. So same thing, just slightly different numbers. Again, just like before, have a go on your own first before you watch me go through the answers. If you really need the support, then obviously you can just watch it, but it would be nice if you were having a go yourself as well. So let's have a look then. 0.12, so we've got a decimal number already, times by 10. Hopefully you can see the line is already there again. So we're going one jump to the left. So we move the 0 first, the 1 follows over just one place, and the 2. So 0.12 times by 10 is 1.2. We don't need to say the 0. It's not 0, 1.2. It's just 1.2. Okay, next one then. 1.02 times by 100. So we've got our two lines already in here. So we're jumping 2 places to the left. Everything gets 100 times bigger. So the 1 goes 2 places and it ends up under our line down here. And again, just logically there, look, 1 times by 100 is 100. It's just got to be. The 0 follows along, and then the 2 follows after it. 1, 2. You've got to get that 0 in. You can't ignore it. There's a digit either side of it. That 0 has to be there for our place value, okay? So 1.02 times by 100 is 102. Right, the last one then, we're timesing by 1,000. So 3 zeros, 3 places. Our lines are already here. So we've got 10.02. We take the 1 first. It ends up not in the tens column anymore, but in the 10,000 column. The 0 follows, so there's 0 thousands. We've got another 0 here that's following it, 1, 2, 3. So 0 hundreds and then 2 tens. Now, again, think about this. We got the ones column here. If I put no digit in this box, I've got 1,002. But 1,002 is not the answer. Okay, I've just popped the comma in to help you read that. So we've got 10,020. So 10.02 times 1,000 is 10,020. Okay, see what's next. Right, similar thing, people. So stop, pause the video, have a go, make sure you've had a go on your own, and then you can watch me going through it. So 50.2 times by 10. I'm going to speed up a bit here because hopefully you've got the idea. The 5 moves over, the 0 follows it just one place, and the 2 is there. So 50.2 times 10, 502. 5.02 times 100, 2 places, 2 lines in our line method. So the 5 comes underneath the line. That's why we're putting the line here, so that you know it comes underneath. And then the 0, and then the 2. Everything just follows on. 5.02 times by 100 is 502. 0.502 then times by 1,000. So we've got the 0 here because it's holding the place value. I am going to take it along, but when we read out the number, we don't need to worry about reading that 0 because there's nothing this side of it. So the 5 moves over next to it, and the 0, and then the 2. And you might notice a little sneaky something that I've done here. We've ended up with 502, 502, and 502. It's the little things that entertain me, people. So again, we don't actually need to read this out. It's 502, not 0, 502. Right, now if we were in class, or at least if you were in my class, what we would be doing now is reading these sentences out, filling in the blanks, and then we would say them, we would whisper them, and then we would shout them as loud as we can. Now, consider what kind of mood your parents are in before you start shouting these sentences out. I will let you decide whether it's worth you being told off by your parents or not. So, to multiply by 10, each digit moves one place to the left. I should probably be typing that in. It would be easier, but I've got the pen ready. To multiply by 100, each digit moves 2 places to the left. And to multiply by 1,000, each digit moves 3 places to the left. If you are super bored and you've got extra time on your hand, you could do some handwriting practice and write those out beautifully if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, right, on to intelligent practice. So I'm just going to pause the video here and I'll record you the next one for your intelligent practice slide.